Oh, fracking. Nice. That's the golden age, all right. Hey, you guys know it's going to bring us into a new era. Things are oftentimes too focused on racial issues instead of class issues. Communists rise up.
Guys, I got to point. I'm going to point this out for the people listening. I grew up in the same city as these people.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's like pureed meat.
Yeah,
and
This
sauce.
I've never heard of this.
Do you guys like intro level philosophy?
I don't know. I've never taken intro level philosophy.
Depends on who's talking to me about it.
That's a yes. Cool. Do you guys like to party?
No.
Sometimes.
I'm taking that as a yes. All right. May I introduce you to Plato's allegory of the rave?
What? I'm so confused.
I need a drink for this.
Plato's allegory of the cave is like a famous like philosophy 101 kind of like little thing they teach you about, which is like explaining to people who've only ever seen shadows the concept of three-dimensional things. More or less, and then, you know, the shining shadows on them and being like, hey, that shadow actually is something else, and trying to explain it to someone who's only ever seen the cast. It's just like a classic philosophy thing. People always mention and name drop. It's kind of like the cask of Amontillado.
Oh, the Poe.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. It
is.
I haven't.
It's Poe.
Okay, I thought. No, I'm not. I thought it was Poe. I thought that's how you said that word.
Oh, yeah. I guess I should have realized that you would know who does poetry.
Yeah,
in hindsight.
Yeah, but it's all good. Anyway. Yeah, no, it's one of those like a cask of Amontillado where like if you know about it, you just like will reference it and like force it into places. So it's kind of like a very common topic. And then raves.
Raves are raves.
You guys know what raves are.
No.
So
what is a rave?
speaking of drinks, welcome to Off the Air. My name is Jackson, the host of Jackson's Beer Corner, and I'm joined today by my most esteemed co-host, Noah.
That would be me. I am Noah.
And my fairly well esteemed, but not most esteemed because he doesn't edit the videos, co-host Dan.
Hi.
Daniel.
Dan Giel, actually. It's pronounced Dan
I actually
Giel.
do not have a beer today, even though I am the host of Jackson's Beer Corner. And instead, I do have a lesson for you youngins. And that lesson here today is if you buy a 6-pack of beer every week and also are continuously buying liquor that you never finish in the amount of time that you buy more liquor for, you're going to have a lot of alcohol saved up in your house. For example, when I left Austin, I had probably half a dozen different beers in my fridge. That I just pawned off and gave to people. And I have only done one beer review since moving to Pennsylvania, moving from Texas. And I already have excess beer in my fridge as well as a lot of spirits. So I did not buy any alcohol this week because I still don't have a job quite yet. So The lesson is financial responsibility and making sure that you use the things that you purchase.
If I may counterpoint, just drink all the alcohol.
That is exactly what he said.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm working on that.
No, but I'm saying like, drink your alcohol faster.
Good point. I don't really like alcohol that much, though.
That's fair, honestly.
That's your loss.
Is it? I think it's a gain. I think it's a net win.
Also,
although
Dan,
you go first.
You go off.
I was gonna say, what is a win though? Is this freaking subtlety? I have not had one of these since you introduced them. Well, not since you introduced them. Since like I mentioned them whenever I did it like a week or two ago. I have had a pack of these in my fridge. They're so freaking good.
They are incredible.
I love them so much.
They are actually just my favorite beer of all time.
What makes
even
me
Jeff
angry
tweeted at me, as I said in the last episode.
I know, right? What makes me angry?
Can we discuss the last episode?
We can. Dan hasn't heard it yet.
I know. I was gonna say it because Noah, you have heard the last episode, but spoiler alert, it hasn't aired yet. So, just as a heads up, I will probably be reiterating at least a little bit of the things I said last time. Just because Dan has not heard them, and I am a creature of no originality.
That's fair.
You guys like hot sauce?
I do. Not all hot sauce, though.
Dan, you like hot sauce?
I'm pouring myself a drink. I established this.
Yeah, I know, but
problem.
like...
I mean, generally speaking, yes,
I have to do with hot sauce.
I find I don't. Okay, so it's a little complex because I don't like things that are really spicy. I don't think spiciness is a flavor, which I feel like a lot of hot sauces do think that. At least a lot of the cheap, shitty ones. That said, you get some like nice, flavorful hot sauce. Yeah, man, hot sauce is the shit.
What is your favorite hot sauce?
Right now, Cholula. My favorite is this Cholula hot sauce. Not their regular, although it is very good.
Is it the Chipotle?
No, it's a garlic hot sauce.
That sounds pleasant.
It is very nice. It's not too spicy. It is a very flavorful sauce that adds to it. I feel like a traitor to Erie by saying this, but I really don't like Frank's hot sauce.
That doesn't have to do with Erie.
You are
does
a
it?
traitor. I was actually trying to decide if I was going to be basic as fuck and say Frank's hot sauce.
I know,
Is
right?
Frank's from Erie?
I don't think it's
Just
from
a-
Erie, but it's an Erie staple.
It's a
like
Pennsylvania
Frank's and
staple.
Smith's. Yeah, Frank's and Smith's, you know?
But I feel the Smith's is like a locally made hot dog, which also super good hot dogs.
They're all right.
Comparatively to like most other hot dogs, Smith's are really good. Specifically, their cheddar best are dope.
That sounds really good. I have not
They're
tried
just like
those.
they're not hot dogs. They're like almost like they're like a sausage.
Okay.
And they're infused with like cheese. So and it's not like fake cheese. It's just like there's just like little pouches of cheddar like splurged throughout it. So they kind of like pop as you cook it and stuff. They're really good.
Ooh, that sounds
They're like
delicious.
really nice and greasy and oily, and they're not too cheesy as to like detract from like what's actually going on with the sausage. But yeah, they're good.
Nice.
Yeah, Smith's hot dogs are pretty good for hot dogs, but their sausage is really where they kill it.
See, my issue with Frank's, though, to pop back to the hot sauce question, I always feel like Frank's tastes too much like vinegar. Now, I haven't had Frank's in a while either, because a friend of mine loved Frank's far too much and burnt me out on it.
That's very
I'm
fair.
not gonna lie, I haven't had Frank's Red Hot in like years. I haven't even seen it in forever.
That's right.
Outside of in the like grocery store aisles, like because they still have it in Texas.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
like it's just not as big.
Mhm.
Cholula's definitely bigger. I mean, but that's just because there's a lot of Mexican food.
Yeah,
And also Cholula goes really well with breakfast food.
it really does.
Cholula on an omelet is the best.
I never got the attraction to having hot sauce or anything on an omelet before because, you know, I was some weird egg purist. But I had it recently and it was very,
You're an egg purist. Why are you eating an omelet?
well, not that kind of egg purist, a regular egg purist.
You're just a sauce purist?
Yes. I don't know. I just don't like extra things on my eggs.
I'll accept it. That's what an omelet is, but I'll accept
Well,
it.
no, like cheese and like pepperoni and like peppers and onions in an omelet. That's one
Pepperoni?
thing. Yeah, sometimes.
Wait, but why would pepperoni be the second thing you list after cheese for omelet ingredients?
Because cheese and pepperoni was always what my family did for omelets.
That is incredibly weird, but not bad.
Yeah, it's
I
one of
will-
those
I will
things that
agree
I
with
never
both of
thought that
those
it was
things.
weird until I thought about it, and I've never seen anyone else do it.
Nah, that's not normal.
People have been like, "Oh yeah, I put chorizo in my omelet," and I'm like, "That sounds good." And then I'm
That's
like,
good.
"Wait a minute, no one ever puts pepperoni in their omelet."
they don't. But it's not like I mean, it's like salami and sausage, which salami doesn't go in omelets, but sausage does.
Mhm.
But when it comes to omelets, for me, I'm a ham guy.
Ooh,
When it comes to hot sauces, for me, I think there's this one in Texas. It's called Texas Champagne. They probably sell it up here too. I haven't really looked for it, but it's really, really good. It's almost sweet. So like it's got a lot of flavors going on and not just spicy. So I like that you can put a lot of it on something. So like something like potatoes or eggs, and it gives it a lot more flavor while also giving it some kick. But lately, as I was talking about earlier, I don't know if we were recording, but I said I only have a microwave in my little suite that I'm living in right now.
yeah.
And so I have no other appliances. So I've been making a lot of like ramen and like cup noodles and stuff like that. And I have the only sauce I have stadium mustard and sriracha sauce.
Really?
And sriracha, because I think for like ramen, I'm not going to put like Cholula in it.
No,
but
you
sriracha
put
goes
sriracha
really well in it.
yeah, you put sriracha in ramen. That's yeah.
Yeah, because it's like a chili sauce.
I don't mind ramen.
I would like to throw this to you guys if we're going to talk
sriracha.
about hot sauce.
Yeah,
Oh,
fire away.
sorry, you were on my end. You did not come through until you finished it. So I
No,
apologize.
sorry, I was
Same.
mumbling a little bit. I accidentally said I don't mind ramen when I meant to say I don't mind sriracha.
Okay. I mean, both accurate.
I like sriracha and like pho.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah. I feel like it's a very noodle based. Like it works
yeah,
really well in
very
noodles.
good in soups.
Sriracha's another
Also
thing
really
that
good
I've
on hot
had
dogs.
too much of, so I don't like to eat it.
Mm.
But I enjoy it more in memory than I do like
In practice.
Frank's. No,
That's
no,
fair.
I
like,
like it on cheap stuff. It really
Yes.
like adds
Mhm.
like things like the ramen with your 30 cents at maximum if you're buying one at a time a packet, and then like hot dogs. Just like it adds like a kick. Because ketchup on a hot dog to me is not really that good.
No,
I would agree.
I would agree.
I
Relish
need
is a superior hot dog condiment. Don't at me.
relish is fine.
relish is okay.
I don't usually go with relish. I'm just a mustard only guy.
I'll be honest, I don't like having anything on my hot dogs except maybe
That's even more boring than
maybe
ketchup.
Greek sauce.
Okay, I'm down with Greek
Because
sauce.
if Greek
though.
sauce is around, then it's all over my hot dog. I'll also do chopped onion,
I love chopped onion on a hot dog. But to me, it's got to be a mustard, and not just like any mustard. I mean, yellow mustard's fine, but like I'm a really big fan of like stone ground mustard, stadium mustard. I love like a spicy mustard, like a sharp mustard.
I'm sorry. What is Greek sauce?
Oh, are you not familiar?
Do you mean tzatziki?
No.
Which is also good, maybe on a hot dog. I haven't tried it, but
that's why I was
probably eat it.
confused. I've never heard of something called Greek sauce.
So this is probably an incredibly local thing.
I think it is.
So Greek sauce is basically a sloppy Joe, but minced finer. And it's not usually ketchup based like a sloppy Joe. It's more of like a slightly spicy sauce. That's Greek sauce.
Yeah, it's like pureed meat.
Yeah,
and sauce.
I've never heard of this.
It's a pretty good topping, but usually you're only gonna get it at a place like a hot dog stand of sorts, or like a place that's you can't get it at a store.
Yeah,
maybe you can.
I don't think I've never seen it at a store. I've only ever seen it at like my family's, like extended families, like picnics and stuff, and their friends. I didn't
include Greek sauce because I include Greek sauce in the same category as like nacho cheese and chili on a hot dog, where it's like
it's one of those. That's situational. Course this is good, but
yeah. But like, I'm talking like I don't have that at home. But speaking of what I do have at home, this is why the hot dog thing came up. I actually put sriracha on a couple hot dogs, and very good.
I would agree. It is very, very pleasant.
Not good if you put sriracha and mustard on the hot dog.
That makes sense as well. Sriracha has this cool, like, kind of sweet thing going on.
Speaking of spicy things, you guys like horseradish?
No,
I do.
I'm a huge horseradish guy.
Is horseradish spicy? I never thought of it as a spicy.
That's why I said spicy. Because it's not like it's not spicy, but like
it spicy though. The thing opens your face up.
Yeah, it's a sinus spice. But it's still like
it's the same as wasabi.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Fun fact: American wasabi is like 99% of the time horseradish dyed green.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was very sad to hear that.
The actual wasabi root is because it's like a Japanese exclusive. You have to buy like the Japanese version of the console to get that. Mm-hmm. Same with the actual sushi rice. The sushi rice we have in America is a short grain rice that is like a hybrid that is typically grown in like California, but not actually from Japan because they limit the exports on their sushi rice. So you can get it, but it's like you got to go through loops.
Neat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you go to the grocery store, you're not going to get actual sushi rice. It's going to be grown it's probably like an Indian short grain rice or a California short grain rice, which is functionally the same, but technically not the same. And apparently real wasabi and like the American wasabi are very different, but you just can't get it. So I would love to try OG wasabi, but the plants are like in the same family. Like they're very closely related, but they're all radish. I love radishes.
I
haven't had radishes in a while.
I mean, it's just horseradish, but like you can munch them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, give them that munchy munch crunch.
Also, I've been having a lot of horseradish since I moved up here. I don't know if it's just a northern thing or if I just have been exposed to Arby's a lot, which is part of it, for sure.
Okay. Can we talk about Arby's?
For sure.
Are you about to be mean to Arby's?
No, I fucking love Arby's. And I feel like so many people give Arby's a lot of shit. And
dude, get a Jamocha shake and calm down.
Don't get me wrong. Arby's isn't like the toppest of top quality foods, but like, dude, I fucking love Arby's.
Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can find the post on Tumblr. Well, we can just continue the fast food discussion, but I want to see if I can find it.
Okay. While you look at that, I'm going to talk about Arby's real quick and why I think you've been getting more into, what was that about? Horseradish. Mm-hmm. Because it is very much a Northwestern Pennsylvania thing to have ox roast.
That's true.
And ox roast is not good unless it has horseradish. Because, Dan, did you ever have ox roast?
Do you mean like a roast?
Okay, so you did not.
Ox meat?
So no. So here's ox roast.
Guys, I got to point. I'm gonna point this out for the people listening. I grew up in the same city as these people.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Now, I'll be honest. A lot of this stuff is pure Erie, and I think it's just because you didn't spend time in Erie.
Wait, does Erie actually have way more culture than I've ever given it credit for?
Oh yeah, it's food culture.
It has white trash culture.
No.
I don't think so.
Its food culture is really strong because Erie has a very strong like Little Mexico, Little Italy. Well, used to have Little Italy. It's kind of dead out now, but like it had a lot of very strong little insert place here areas throughout that cultivated a really strong local like food culture. I mean, how many different food festivals do we have a year? There's Polish Fest.
Food festivals?
Yeah, Polish Fest. There's like 3 different Polish festivals. and various other things like that. Like, you're hard pressed in the summer to find a weekend that there isn't a food festival going on at some like Catholic church.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean. Okay,
And I'm not talking.
yeah, no, those are.
Also,
I thought
Polish
you meant like an
Fest
actual
is so
like
lit.
city thing that like happened, and I'm like, I have no clue
Oh,
what you're
no.
talking about.
No,
No,
the
you mean
city
like at
is
random
Polish
churches
Fest,
and
though?
shit? Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, the city has one food truck festival a year, and I don't think it's
Okay,
even thrown on by the city. I think it's thrown
I
on by a
have
local bar.
found it.
Okay,
It is from Tumblr user Vampire Apologist.
that's
And
a name.
yeah, no, it's actually a very
That's a great
frequent
name.
in the circles I'm in. Also,
Mhm.
here's what it is. So it's very much about Arby's and not Erie's food festivals, which are lit. The Greek festival is dope. So is the Polish
I
one.
remember Albion having a couple of.
Albion has the fair. Albion has no festivals except for
Sorry,
sad
not Albion. I meant
festivals.
Gerard. Sorry, my bad.
Okay, yeah,
Gerard.
his Dan
I remember
Rice
Gerard
days.
having. Yeah, Dan Rice Days was a
The
thing that
famous
happened.
clown. All right, so here's the post. Some girl in my class was talking about McDonald's Shamrock Shakes, and this yeehaw dude in cowboy boots said they suck, and he looked me in the eyes and said, "What you're gonna do is go to Arby's and get yourself a mint chocolate chip shake." And he said it with such authority and certainty that I did so as soon as I got in my car. And they followed the post. They followed the post with, "I see your concern, y'all, but this wasn't a man telling me what to do. This was a man who had important knowledge and shared it with me. He was aiding me on a quest I didn't even know I was on." And then Tumblr user Abracaduknu responds by saying, "You fool, that was Arby himself." So that is
Arby
one
present.
of my favorite Tumblr posts, and I just really enjoy it. I also just really enjoy Arby's because they have horseradish sauce, a horsey sauce, if you will, available and at the ready.
Their
I'm
Arby's sauce
really
is
about
pretty good.
that. I like Arby's sauce too, but
Their
whenever I
Reubens
go there,
are the shit.
their Reubens are really good. I have them every day.
Nowhere else fast foody that I have been able to find does good Reuben.
That's true.
Yeah,
Arby's
not many
Reuben is
places in general do
passable,
Reubens.
but
Reubens are wicked underrated.
they really
Okay,
are.
let me rephrase that, Noah. Good Reuben for like a fast food joint. For like better food than you would expect from most fast food.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Does Permani Brothers have Reubens? I can't imagine they
Hurts
don't.
too.
You know what? I don't. Yes, because last time I was there,
Nice.
instead of giving me a Reuben, they gave me something else that had similar meat to the Reuben, but was not a
Pastrami?
Reuben. No,
I love a pastrami sandwich.
because I do love a pastrami sandwich.
I've never been to Permani Brothers before.
I would heavily recommend it. They're a Pittsburgh staple, but they do have their store up in Erie now.
They do, and that's why I want to go.
Their fries are good. Everything about them is very, very good. Their sandwiches are
about,
huge though, and if you don't like your fries and your coleslaw and your sandwich, definitely ask on the side.
I don't
What
get
about-
coleslaw
have you-
on sandwiches.
I don't get
I don't
that.
get coleslaw on
See,
the side.
Pittsburgh has
I'll eat
this
it on a
thing
sandwich.
where they just like to put things on sandwiches. Like their big thing is putting a fried egg on their sandwiches, and I don't get it.
That
I
is
see, I get
absolutely
that.
what.
That makes
so You don't
sense.
get that?
No, like
See-
I enjoy it sometimes, but then every now and then, you pick up the sandwich on your like crappy home bread that doesn't sop stuff up well, and the yolk pops and just goes everywhere.
Well, yeah, you
if
shouldn't
I'm
be
doing
doing
it
it
at
on
home,
home
fry it
bread.
hard.
That's
Yeah,
the problem.
Get better
I've
quality
tried,
bread.
Well, I've
Honestly,
yeah.
a hot take. If I'm getting a sandwich with an egg on it,
Mhm.
like half the time, it just depends on the sandwich, I'll just get it over hard so I don't have to deal with the yolk popping everywhere because it doesn't improve
yeah.
the flavor that much.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge mess and they never give you enough napkins to deal with it. You have to ask for more napkins, and if your server's not nearby, it becomes a whole hassle. So if they ask me how I want it cooked, half the time I just say over hard.
Yeah.
One time I did ask for a hard boiled egg on my sandwich as just to throw the person off, and they were like,
Have you guys ever had
For real? I
hard
was
boiled
like,
eggs
yeah.
on sandwiches?
I did. It was actually not bad. They sliced it up and put it on top,
Yep.
and it was pretty good.
Wait,
One of the best
I think
sandwiches.
what did you say? Put on sandwiches?
a hard boiled egg instead of like a fried
That
egg.
doesn't sound terrible at all.
I think
No,
I prefer a
it's
fried egg,
great.
but it was a fun experience.
One of my best sandwiches I ever made as a kid. I remember very distinctly being a monstrosity of things that I threw together in the kitchen.
Mhm.
I was hungry and we were poor, and so we didn't really have like a lot. We had eggs and bread and like just random assorted condiments and stuff. And it like the core like thing in the sandwich was sliced hard boiled eggs, and it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I hard boiled eggs and maybe like a little bit of like mustard, maybe a little bit of mayo. It wouldn't be terrible.
Mhm.
Wouldn't be great, but it would be better than nothing.
Mhm.
Put some sriracha on there, perhaps.
Yeah, honestly, I was just thinking. Honestly, I kind of want to go eat a hard boiled egg with sriracha because I haven't.
It's not bad.
Love hard boiled eggs, and I think they're underrated.
I would agree.
Like, if you go to most breakfast places and they're like, "How do you want your eggs cooked?" You can just get hard boiled eggs, like 99% of the time.
Really, I've never
Yeah,
even
most
thought
places
of that.
carry them. Yeah, pretty much anywhere that has salads will carry hard-boiled eggs.
Huh.
So that's a life hack if you're ever feeling it. I rarely do it, but every once in a while if I'm feeling it.
What else do you guys
One
put hot sauce
time-
on?
I'll put a hot sauce if I have hot sauce nearby on most everything except for sandwiches. I never put hot sauce on sandwiches because usually I don't order sandwiches that don't have sauce on them already.
That's fair.
So I don't want to add sauce because usually I'll get a sandwich not for the sauce, but I get one with a sauce, and then
I mean, let's be real.
Like,
Picking a dry sandwich, you can make a dry sandwich at home. You're going to eat
precisely.
out because someone can make a sandwich better than you. And
I want a hot sandwich and I want it to have a special sauce.
I also don't really buy lunch meat, so like I can't make a nice sandwich at home because lunch meat is expensive as fuck.
now, if you ever do
It's
get lunch meat,
kind of,
though,
yeah.
may I recommend a Cajun turkey, and then you combine that with egg salad and cheese.
I have
if
been getting
I-
a lot.
Go for it.
Go off. No, you go off, Queen.
If I may recommend, if you want like a basic ass, like relatively cheap sandwich that you can throw together, you get yourself some decent
Hard-boiled eggs and bread and jelly.
decent roast beef and a little bit of provolone, and you literally throw it on a potato roll and throw it in the microwave, and that's it.
Roast beef.
Have you
I
told him
totally
to make a
forgot
roast
tell you
beef
what
sandwich?
ox roast was.
Oh,
It's functionally, it's just like
It's-
thick roast beef.
So yeah, you know the
gross.
And it's like
like
roast.
the
But it's
roast
like
beef
roasted.
sandwich at Arby's. Make that meat like sliced a little thicker, and then serve it in a crock pot with beef juice.
Yeah, like actually like not just like a roast
juice.
beef, like lunch meat roast beef, but like actually like slow roasted thin sliced beef. Or it's super good.
It's very good, but only if you have it with like something extra, because it has
You need sauce.
very
It's-
little flavor on its own. If you don't serve it with the juice, then it's dry and gross. And if you don't serve it with a sauce, it's just
Then it's
hot beef, which
It's
is
really good though.
far less satisfying than it sounds like, because it's not seasoned much either.
You know, honestly, this conversation has been refreshing for me because since I've come back to Erie, I've been realizing slowly but surely how much this place has actually made me who I am and how much of like an Erie person I actually am, weirdly enough. Because like everything comes out and like, yeah. Because when I was in Texas, I would be like, people would be like, what's your favorite food? I'm like, oh, definitely a sandwich. And people are like, what? And I'm like, oh, just love a sandwich. And I come up here and everyone's like, let's get some sandwiches. I'm like,
My
these people got
guys.
it right. Somebody figured it out. And I'm like, oh, I love horseradish on everything. I wish they had it more. And I come up here, everyone's got horseradish. It's like I forget how much this place actually like is ingrained in who I am, which is nice. Because every time I talk to someone about it, besides Noah so far, they're like, I hate Erie. It's a big dump hole and it's the worst place ever. But Noah has a very fresh take on the city, which is it's not terrible. Because for whatever reason, everyone thinks it's terrible.
There we go. See, it's not
Erie
terrible.
is terrible.
It's really not. It's basically just a whole bunch of kids who like had like a really lame childhood or are just really repressed adults that never left the city.
That
And then they're just like, this is the worst place ever. I'm like, maybe you got a bad attitude.
because Philly is shitty childhood and repressed adults. Or Philly, wow, Erie.
Yes, it
there's
is.
protection for you. There's a
I
Freudian
don't
slip
think
for you.
I had a really dope childhood.
Mhm.
And
Weird
I
flex,
am
but
not
okay.
very repressed. And I mean, you said it was shitty childhood, so I figured I'd share my experience.
No,
Just to say I
I
disagree.
genuinely view Erie as like not saying a prison is really dramatic, but like it literally to me is just a people go there and they don't leave, and that's so sad to me. Like that is so sad to me. Like people just go.
Where should they go?
Literally anywhere. Go on an adventure, dude.
Why?
Because the world is so much bigger than Erie County. You, Jackson,
you
I'm
can go outside
shocked
of
that you
Erie
went
County.
back. I am shocked.
I have nothing against it. It's a nice place to live. Got some nice beaches, and there's plenty of money to save up so you can travel places.
Mhm.
You don't have to live somewhere to go there.
No, but just going somewhere you don't. That's not the same thing as living there. Like,
I mean, I guess, but no one can live more than like a handful of places in their life unless
Not
you're
with
moving
that
every year,
attitude.
and then you're gonna have a hard time. Well, I mean, if you live 80 different places in your life,
you got a problem.
that's a lot. Not you got a problem. That's just a lot of work.
That is
Having
fair.
moved like 5 times in the past 4 years, I can attest to the fact that moving is just shitty. And I'm about to move again in like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, I would not want to do that every couple years.
I get
And
you.
the alternative, I guess, is just don't own anything and don't connect with anyone. But that sounds really bad too.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
I'd rather stay somewhere where I've connected to people and then go places I want to see.
I mean, I don't. Part of my like go explore things is also that I don't really have that much tying me down anywhere. Like even
I
here,
don't either.
like I got friends and stuff here in the city, but like I would leave tomorrow if I had a place to go. Like if I had somewhere that I really wanted to be, I could be out of here in saying tomorrow is a stretch, but be out of here in a couple of days. Like I don't know. The city isn't people generally, even if I'm friends, like because so many of my friends are online or I don't interact without like I hang out with them enough online or I talk to them through different sources. I don't hang out in person with people that often. And so like it doesn't mean anything, like nothing changes in terms of friendships if I leave. And like I don't my girlfriend's long distance, so like what's the long distance in a different place? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's fine. But I feel like you've projected that idea of what's good for you as a problem for me not doing what's good for you, which doesn't make sense to me, being someone who's lived somewhere happily for multiple years and has chosen to go somewhere else of their own free will that they enjoy being.
No, and I think that's fair.
To be fair, you did just kind of attack me for it moments ago.
I'm sorry. I didn't. You were not the people that I'm saying go on an adventure to. That is not
He's
who
saying
that is
it
directed
to me
at.
because I'm still living
I'm not
here.
even saying it to you. Actually, you've at least moved a little bit. You've moved further than I ever thought you would, if I'm being 100% honest.
I moved 40 minutes away from my parents' house.
That's more than I thought you would.
I don't know what conversations we ever had that made you think that I wanted to live near my parents my entire life.
No, I just didn't think you'd ever
like,
leave. So many of my friends and like the people that I was close to in that city have gone nowhere and done nothing.
Did I ever tell you my original plan for leaving school?
No.
My original plan for leaving school was I was going to move to Columbus, Ohio.
Ew.
I was going to move
Actually,
there.
you know what? They made it pretty far in the playoffs this year. I'll give it to you.
See, I was going to move there because Columbus is a growing city, and I knew that hairdressers would have a job there because it is a growing place. I no longer want to move there because I feel like I don't want to live in a growing city. I like visiting cities.
Yeah, living in a growing city is, as someone who lived for a couple years in the fastest growing city in the United States by a good margin, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. As I said earlier, Erie's got a weird charm about how ungentrified it is, which coming from Austin is really refreshing. It's strange to go back to a place that I lived for most of my life and say,
wait, I'm sorry.
This is
you
refreshing
said
in a way I
ungentrified?
did. Yeah.
We were just talking about this because the funny thing is he said
yes, things
Erie
are
being
changing.
ungentrified, and I'm like, oh, buddy, they just had this happen where they're tearing down a bunch of buildings in downtown Erie, and it's a huge thing because there's like businesses in these buildings. But
I
the
don't know, man.
buildings
I
are
think
bad enough to be condemned, so they're actually tearing down old buildings to upgrade them, and
You know
people
what?
are referring to it as gentrifying Erie.
You know what? That's fair. Because I'm thinking gentrification in less economic terms and more societal terms, and more like what it means in Philadelphia specifically, which is rich white people kicking out poor people of color. But like
more or less
That's what this is coming across as.
I view Erie in my head as very predominantly white. Very, very, very predominantly white.
Which is funny because
Not entirely.
I'll be honest, it's really not though.
It's very mixed. Erie is a city?
Erie is actually I might be wrong, so someone fact check me here. I believe Erie is still a refugee city.
I think it is, yes.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm like 77% sure it is. But
yeah, I don't know. I find there's like a refreshing thing about Erie to me. And not that I love it or think it's great, but like just driving through, I'm like, you know what? It's very, very, very different than Austin in many different ways. And a lot of them are good in their own right. And, you know, just about seeing it.
according to, let's see, I'm just double checking real quick before I start saying things.
I'm looking at this stat right now, and it says the city's 80% white, but I really feel like some of these numbers are not accurate.
That's going to be a metropolitan area probably, if I had to guess. And you put Mill Creek in that graph at all, and everything goes white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you include Mill Creek, then freaking heck, Mill Creek is so white.
I mean,
But
context, the other main place that I've lived is Philadelphia, which according to this site is about the highest racial grouping is people of color African Americans at 42%. So like that's my mentally that's my context of like the city being white. And I'm gonna be honest, maybe Mill Creek is different, but Girard, Albion,
now I will stop you there. A lot of those are farm country that got fancy. Farm country mostly attracts just white people for a very long time.
Like that's still most of the I would argue that's still most of Erie County.
I was talking about the city of Erie.
Yeah, most of the population is going to live in Erie proper or the surrounding
we just
suburbs.
established Erie proper is 80%.
But it's
that's just Erie. I thought that was I'm saying Erie proper isn't like living in the zip code that would be contained within Erie. not Erie County or Erie, the metropolitan area, which is different.
Yeah, this is just saying Erie, Pennsylvania, so I'm not sure if it's Erie metropolitan or Erie area.
It sounds like you're picking and choosing statistics because Erie
I haven't looked at
metropolitan.
any
You are
statistics.
either Erie metropolitan, which is the city of Erie, or Erie County. You can't be like, but that's not really the
I
city.
haven't done
Because that
the
is the
county
city.
though.
What I'm trying to say
Albion
is
in the Erie metropolitan area.
Yeah, Albion is not. And I don't believe Girard is either.
In the metropolitan area?
Yeah.
I think it is. I mean, what other city would be lumped into? Because they need to have somewhere to be put in.
That's
I mean,
fair.
unless it would be.
I guess I
think
had
Albion,
not thought of Erie or as Corey as a part of Erie County, but it is.
Yeah, it is.
I never thought of that.
I mean, it's not even county based. It's like I think
Erie area.
I think everywhere is in a metropolitan area.
According to
Like, I don't think there are
MillCreekTownship.com, the racial
exclusions.
makeup of Mill Creek is 98.7% white.
I told you.
No, yeah, we're not surprised that Mill Creek is white. That's not the
No,
part
in
we're
fact,
trying to
we
argue.
called Mill Creek is. Yeah, I wasn't even arguing anything. I was just questioning: is Mill Creek included when it says Erie? Is it saying because Mill Creek is a suburb of Erie, which means it's definitely Erie metropolitan area. But I don't know if they're saying Erie.
That is
proper.
fair. I am looking at the city like I was looking at the county statistics specifically.
What I'm
Point
looking
is,
at just
I
says
view
Erie, Pennsylvania.
Sorry.
Wait.
So
I-
I
the
don't
point is,
think
I
we're
view-
disagreeing with each other is the point.
Okay.
I
I
think
don't
we're all
even know.
looking and extrapolating
different
from
stats. I'm not
different
looking at
stats,
stats.
and we're trying to figure out what we're doing.
I have only asked questions and then been told I was making up statistics.
I
That's
misunderstood
been
the
my
question you were
experience.
asking, or the
Yeah, I don't know,
statistics you
just-
were
I've been-
citing, rather.
I was just asking.
No, I mean, my point is, the big point of that is that it is weird to me. The real point was that it was weird to me that you said it wasn't gentrified when it, like, again, in my head, the gentrification tends to be racial because in Philadelphia it pretty much entirely is.
It is for the most part. But it's also one of those kind of things where I think a lot of times in the way the American narrative is spun these days is things are oftentimes too focused on racial issues instead of class issues. Communists rise up because you shouldn't be voting for someone because they fit the same demographics as you. You should vote for someone because they have the interest of the people who are in your working area and in your working bracket in mind. But, you know, that's just my take. I think that identity should be focused not solely, but majorly on class, and then the subsidiary should be things like race and gender. Although each person is able to take their own look at that. Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I think if a woman were to vote in someone,
I'm sorry. I just got to say this real quick because it's funny to me. I'm scrolling through the Wikipedia page for Erie, Pennsylvania. Based on findings from the 2016 U.S. Census Bureau's American Community Survey, the CDC's mortality rate data, incarceration rates, etc., and that cites a source, the city of Erie was determined to be the worst city in America to live for Black
African
Americans.
I told I told you guys this.
I feel like we've mentioned it before, but I've never actually
we
seen it.
talked about that.
No,
as
I
a
got to
context
be the one to break the news to a bunch of my conservative friends. And I'm like, you do, like, because
so
we were
funny.
talking about, like, the importance of
That's
certain
so
things. I'm
funny.
like, y'all do realize that Erie is, like, the worst place to live for African Americans. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, USA
CDC?
Today did an entire piece on it about how bad Erie is. And they're
Yeah.
like,
It
Erie's
is
not
funny,
that bad. I'm
though.
like, Erie is not that bad for us.
for you. Which, I mean, to be fair, what I've been saying so far is coming from the perspective of me being a white dude. Also, I do want to point out, I have moved from what was this year rated the best city in the country to live in to what is rated the worst city in the country to live in for African Americans. So
That's really funny.
Interesting. But
Not funny, haha, more like funny weird.
yeah, it's just like well, I don't know. I like both Austin and Erie in their own rights, and I'm glad I got to experience both. Not sure that it necessarily made me a much better person, but I had a good time doing both, and I am glad to be in Erie, honestly.
I'm sure he's glad to have you back. It needs as many people back as it can get. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry. No, I can't even say I'm sorry because I hate Erie so much, you guys. I'm sorry.
See, I don't want to.
I'm really sorry, and I'm gonna try and pull
but,
back from the shit talking because it's not really fair.
Yeah, and I don't want to say mean things, but I don't know. I just think we have different experiences, which taint the views that we have on the city.
I mean,
and the
that's
views that we
very
have on
very
the people
fair,
who live
and
there.
I think that is also just. That's part. You know, that's what makes this podcast interesting. That Jackson and I disagree on everything, and Noah's in the middle, mostly taking Jackson's side.
That's not true.
Kidding,
fair.
just joking. It's a joke.
No,
It's a
I'm
joke.
gonna riff
No,
on
he
your
does.
joke. How dare you? I take Jackson's side because you just hate on the place that I live, and that's your bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
And, yeah,
it's not a bit. It's a. Never mind.
Again, I think
Wait, let me
eerie
get
bad
back on
because I
this
had
again.
bad time. I think
Eerie
eerie
bad
bad for everyone
objectively.
because I had bad time is not a healthy way to look at the thing. But I will allow
there
you
are
to do
good
whatever.
parts to Erie. I will agree. There are parts of Erie that are great.
Mhm.
That is as far as I'm going to go into this because we've
I'm
gone
not
deep and
dragging
I'm
you,
trying to
but I
pull
just-
back.
It just kind of hurts my heart.
I don't want to hurt your heart. I'm sorry.
Not for Erie, just for you.
Oh, I mean, I feel like I should say I'm sorry, but like,
You guys-
I don't know, man.
Don't be sorry. I'm just, like, I mean, your experiences are your own. It just kind of, it's important to share them and know them, but it just kind of makes me sad that the experiences you can have at a place can taint your view of not only it, but the people who live there to an extent like that. I mean, but it's okay. It's not a terrible thing. I'm sure I have my own problems in my own way on different issues. And
aren't
that's why
related to
I
Erie.
talk. Well, I mean, some of them definitely are, but I'm, I don't know. I pose mine differently, I guess.
I don't know. I feel like me not. It is unfair for me to be like, Erie bad, Erie forever bad. At the same time, if I didn't, I would feel somewhat dishonest if I was like, oh, I'm so glad you're back in Erie. Like because I'm not glad you're back there.
Yeah.
I'm not glad anyone is there.
Yeah, and that's why I think the difference here in viewpoints is coming from. I think you are pointing the subjective with an objective lens. You're saying Erie
I do that a
is
lot. I
holistically
tend
bad.
to do that.
know.
I tend to
But
do that a lot, and I apologize for the audience as a whole. I state my opinions as fact a lot,
Mhm.
and I try very hard not to, and I'm not
So,
good
yeah,
at it.
it's-
I've been doing it for
It seems
so long.
I'm not any kind of psychotherapist, but it just seems like it's a lack of introspection. Like it's not a lack of, but like a out facing lack of.
A lack of extrospection is what I would honestly call more than anything. Like
Yeah, let's go with that.
because like I'm aware of my prejudices lie, and I've talked to a couple of people about this actually, including my therapist at one point.
Was he a psychotherapist?
She was not.
Was he a psychotherapist?
I don't think she was a psychotherapist.
Like the
I
mode?
mean, she was a
Thicko-therapist? Were you gonna
No.
say thicko?
No, I wasn't, and now I
were you
I
gonna say
really
that
want
she
to
was
purge that.
thick?
Thanks. I don't listen. I cannot be looting after my therapist. Okay, that's a recipe for disaster.
To each their own.
No, and it is to me just a like. I assume when people say things that they're speaking from opinion and not objective fact, and it literally comes down to I automatically asterisk everything anyone ever has said to me ever with that's
Hashtag.
just like your opinion, man. And the problem is that when I respond, I subconsciously am asterisking everything I say with the same thing, but it doesn't come across that way because that's not how people hear
It's
things.
When you say this thing is objectively bad, I tend to take that as this thing is
me saying
objectively bad.
When I'm really
Not,
saying
I don't like this thing.
what I'm really saying is that it's objectively bad in my opinion.
Yeah, well,
Which yes,
yeah.
I get the joke,
Well-
but
Well, I mean, there's a different interpretation to that than subject, because that means that you have convinced yourself that it is that way,
which is
I don't
true.
know.
I am convinced that Erie is objectively bad, but I'm aware that is my opinion, and that there are things that people are subjectively allowed to like other things and objectively allowed to like other things and find objective statistics to prove that that things are okay. My experience has told me otherwise, and that's why I say again, everything I say is to me automatically says, oh, that's my opinion. This is how I feel about the thing. And it is a problem that I tend to have where I don't make it clear enough to other people when I mean it's my opinion, when I mean it's actually like facts, because I try to back a lot of the things I say with facts, and sometimes I don't. But Star Wars: The Last Jedi is still the best Star Wars movie. Objective fact. Boom, got it. Brought it back to a bit. We got out of this weird hole.
Poll. So my recent Twitter activity not only has been absolutely fire. Go follow me on Twitter,
It has been really
twitter.com/Jacksonian
good.
with 2 M's. I don't know. I just like every like month or two, I just go through like a spell where I can tweet out like 5 good tweets, and then I'll stop for like 2 months. But earlier today, I tweeted out about pantsuits and women who wear pantsuits. What are your guys' thoughts?
I would agree.
I saw that.
Strong agree, actually.
So, because I didn't
To an
say what
extent.
I had said, Noah just said he agreed with what I had said. What I had said was that I
didn't
find
remember what he
women who wear
said.
I find nice. That's because Noah just always takes my side and says Dan's big wrong. But I earlier said that I find women in pantsuits very attractive most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Noah said he hard agrees. Dan, thoughts?
Dan just said BRB, so when Dan comes back, let's say this again.
Dan did say BRB for a quick second. I don't know, we could talk about my other tweet. I was actually going to tweet out Plato's allegory of the rave earlier.
And then you decide to save it for the
Yeah. But because it was like 10 minutes before we started recording, I was like, I gotta save this one. And then when we started recording, I forgot what it was. But I got it, as you can probably tell by the fact that I talked about it. You know, what we're waiting for Dan, what we could do is talk about Audible.
We could talk about Audible.
Any thoughts about Audible?
Well, I do know that you can go to audibletrial.com/offtheair and get yourself all kinds of fantastic books that you can listen to anytime, anywhere. Well, maybe not anytime. You might not want to do that.
Also, can we talk about how I plugged Audible
You did.
far quicker than this?
You plugged Audible within the first 10 seconds of that episode.
Yeah, it was very quick.
It was fantastic.
I don't know why. I feel like I just said something and the Audible just it worked. So as of today, I have actually finished Watsky's book, both via Audible and via the paper copy that I have. Not at the same time either. I was on the last chapter, finishing up the last chapter of the audiobook in my car, and I got out and went inside the coffee shop. It's called the Tipsy Bean, by the way, Noah. Have you ever been there?
I do love the Tipsy Bean.
It's really dope. I went there for the first time today, and I had
Did you see
so
who runs it?
It's the woman who used to play at Real Life, correct?
Yeah, it is.
Is she the owner, or is she just like a manager? Or is she just
She owns it.
Okay, I wasn't sure, and I didn't run up and be like, hey, because I didn't know she'd remembered me, and I wasn't sure it was her either. I thought I saw. I was like, is that? I don't want to say her name, but she follows me on Twitter, and I was like, is that her? And then, sure enough, it was. I found that out now. I mean, I was pretty sure, but I wasn't guaranteed. That's cool to know, though. So maybe I'll say hi next time. But I really like that place. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I want to try some of their, I'll get a bottle of their whiskey or get a bottle of their gin. And give that a shot. But as I was saying, I finished the majority of the audiobook. I was almost done. Went inside the restaurant and just picked up where I had been reading the actual paper book. So I reread the same chapters I had just listened to in the car. And it wasn't even a problem for me. It actually was really helpful because then I was able to read them faster because I kind of knew what was being said, and also pick up on some things that I had missed and pick up on some spellings that I had missed, which I think was really helpful because some of the things that were being said, and I was like, I don't really know how that word is spelled, which is one of the big disadvantages of audiobooks.
Yeah.
But then I was able to kind of counteract that and finish the book in paper form, and then I went to go pick up my friend and I finished the book in audio form. And that leads us to where I went after I picked up my friend. A place that has all-you-can-eat sushi.
Amazing. Oh wait, Dan's back. You want to ask him the pantsuit
Dan's
question?
back, yeah.
Please. I apologize.
I
Sorry about
think
that.
well, I mean, Dan, do you like women in pantsuits? Do you think that's cool?
I mean, yes, in general, but not to the extent that you've expressed on Twitter.
That's true. But I only express things in extremes on Twitter. Also, if you read my Twitter bio, you would know how you think. My Twitter bio is pretty fire. If you guys have never read that, I'm not gonna read it out loud here. I'm just gonna let you guys go look at it. Twitter.com/Jacksonium with 2 M's. All right. But all you can eat sushi. Dan, thoughts on all you can eat sushi?
I can't eat most sushi.
You not raw fish, or you have an allergy?
I have an allergy to
Being a
avocado?
man.
That's probably not it.
No, I have an allergy to avocado. I'm
You
extremely.
can eat plenty of sushi.
Yes, I can. However, most all you can eat sushi places, a lot of the things that are up for grabs have avocado in some shape or form inside them.
It's actually not like a buffet. It's you order it.
It's like you order it. Yeah. I've done it. A lot of it is still yes, there are still plenty of options for me, but it takes
Them
off. I
change
would
their
say
gloves and-
probably a solid third, if not half of most menus for sushi.
That's understandable. There's a lot of avocado in sushi, which apparently is more of a thing over here than it is in Japan, which makes sense because avocados are not nearly as readily available there as they are here. They're so good in things like sushi.
It makes me angry because I love sushi, but
I had a soft shell crab roll when I was there.
ooh.
So good. I actually didn't get the all you can eat sushi. I just got 2 rolls, which was my total with 2 rolls, and we got some mochi. It was $11, very reasonable. But the all you can eat sushi is 16, which I definitely could have eaten 5 rolls had I had the absolute unrestrained ability to. The reason I didn't is because I saw the soft shell crab roll and I really wanted it, but it wasn't on the all you can eat menu. Probably because they knew that I would come in and I would eat 4 entire soft shell crabs worth of sushi, which is not a lot of soft shell crab. I mean, it is, but like it's a lot of sushi because it wasn't like giant pieces. Actually, it was surprisingly large pieces of soft shell crab. I want more now.
You've made me very hungry, and I don't appreciate
Yeah, no,
that.
I just ate as we were like beginning this recording. In fact, I kept muting my microphone so I can slurp the rest of the noodles out of the bowl. And still, I am finding myself hungry for more soft shell crab.
I mean, honestly, I'm never not hungry for soft shell crab.
Yeah, it's very good. Kind of gross, but very good.
I mean, it's fine.
I mean, no, I mean that's a fine opinion to have. You're not in the wrong. It's actually almost a good opinion to have. Like, I don't like lobster.
I don't like lobster when you have to eat it like you eat lobster because that's too much work to get
It's a lot of
food.
work.
Sometimes I
Would
like
you like
it
a
because
lobster
it
mac and
keeps me
cheese?
from eating too quickly, which is a bad habit I have. I won't, every single time I eat lunch, I will eat my lunch in about 10 minutes. And I don't like doing that, but it's just a habit I've built up over the last like 6 years.
It's true. I ate both of my rolls of sushi before anyone else at the table had finished one. I blame public school.
See, I can't blame that. I blame fast food and food service.
It's true. When you're in the car, you just kind of keep eating because it's there. Or when you're working, you have like a 10-minute break.
I also do that, but I don't blame either of those things. I blame there not being enough food on the table when I was growing up. So if you didn't get seconds, you weren't getting any more. Like,
I'm glad we all have things we can blame that are not ourselves.
That are not ourselves. None of these are our problems. These are clearly society. Because I don't know if you're aware, guys, but
What, Dan?
we do actually live in a society.
You could say that perhaps things are constantly happening within that society that we live.
I could say that. No, you know what to do.
Yep.
No, put up the M&M.
So I want to change topics real quick. Did you guys see the video of Bill Nye that was posted like 2 days ago?
I did, and
I
it's
just
amazing.
feel like they're milking Bill Nye can say fuck for way too much. And I'm kind of getting bored of Bill Nye saying fuck.
I enjoy Bill Nye because I think that I respect him as a like public figure. Like I respect him as
He's
like
having fun for sure.
He's having fun and he's trying to do like good things for like he's not. It's easy for public figures to do things for themselves, and it very much has never seemed like Bill Nye has ever done anything that he's like, no, I'm doing this just to make money. He always seems like he's doing it for at least putting he's putting up the front that he's doing it for like the world as a whole or for specific people.
Yeah,
and I
true.
respect the hell out of that.
I'm really sick of the Bill Nye can say bad words now bit that keeps happening.
It does happen more than a couple of times.
This is like the 6th time it's happened in the last like 3 years.
Oh, this
like,
is
hey
the first
guys,
time
it's
I've
been
noticed.
6 months. You guys remember Bill Nye can say a bad word? Because he's not the science guy anymore. Haha. Like, cool, we get it. You're just going to keep milking our nostalgia for money until you're dead. Boomers. Be gone, class traders.
Boomers be gone.
The best strategy I can have for us as a generation is to have a rebellion that starts at the lowest class, as the most honorable chairman Mao Zedong once said should be done. The peasantry should be the one calling the shots in a rebellion. But, you know, it's a revolutionary cycle like Marx himself predicted.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay. I was actually going to point out, because that bit, the Bill Nye bit, came from a John Oliver video, because
Thank God for
John
late
Oliver.
night television.
How do you guys, that's what I was going to ask, how do you guys feel about late night TV shows? Like, what do you guys, because I've actually grown to like them a lot in the last year or so. I don't know how I feel about liking them a lot.
I don't know. They also kind of do the same bit as like, we're hosts on a pseudo news channel, but we can say bad words. Also, hey, look, we're going to make fun of Donald Trump again. I'm like, cool. You did it. Haha. Orange Man bad. Yeah, I agree, but like, haha. I don't know. I'm played out with it. I think the JonTron video that starts off with like Jimmy Fallon making fun of like gaming based content creation and like Twitch and YouTube. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. People get, how are people doing that? Blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, it's the ghost of late night television. Be gone. And he like has to like cast it. He casts away the ghost of late night television, which proceeds to spit ectoplasm on the floor. Very funny bit.
Nice.
And I think that kind of summarized what, my feelings towards it are. It's just kind of like a cool, just like, you're all just, there's like 7 different people who look very similar and are all gonna tell you almost the same thing. What's that new wacky take on school shootings? Cool. I'm glad we're still taking wacky takes on that. I don't know. It's not terrible.
No, and I can't disagree with you. I would like to, but I can't. Because you're right in most instances. I would say there are to me, late night
And if you want
TV
to win this argument, just tell me that I watch anime.
No, I was gonna say, to me, late night TV works best in very specific cases rather than as a like, oh, I'm going to watch every week, every night, I'm going to watch the Colbert Report or whatever. Or sorry, it's the Late Show with Stephen Colbert now.
Why did he change it?
because he was a subset of something else and then got brought on to do the entire Late Show. And so he technically isn't the Colbert Report anymore. It's just Stephen Colbert. John Oliver I like a lot because he tends to bring a lot of, and because some of them, right? Cool. Some of them are hosts and like bringing on topics and stuff first, and then comedians, and then last news, right? I think to me personally, I like John Oliver a lot because he tends to bring on. I have not seen in a long while him do a bit. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I can't think of a time recently that he's brought on like guests that weren't part of like a very specific bit or like part of whatever point he's trying to make.
Yeah, I think he is honestly one of the less offensive in that genre. Not like literally offensive, but like offensive to the points I was making.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I think Jimmy Fallon gets a bad rap. First of all,
yeah, I mean he's not funny, but he does get a bad rap.
People take him too seriously because he is just a comedian, and I feel like people take what he says as actual like important stuff. And
I strong disagree with people who are like, oh, he's just faking it, because everything I've ever seen from anything, even off like his show, he's just excited to do bits and stuff, and like it has nothing to do. Like he laughs because he thinks it's funny, not because he's like, oh, I'm playing it up for comedy.
I'll be honest, that's one of the things that infuriates me the most, is that he just laughs all the time, which is incredibly hypocritical because I just laugh all the time.
No, what was your first reaction to being choked out, just for the audience?
Yeah, it was laughing. I wasn't choked out. I was being.
Go back and make him go back and watch the episode, or listen to the episode. I think he gets a bad rap. I think I saw Trevor Noah do a comedy. He did a comedy thing at my school.
I enjoy Trevor Noah's comedy a lot.
I like his.
I think he's funny, but I really don't like his show.
I was about to say I was going to say the opposite. I actually like his show more than I like his comedy. I feel like his comedy is a lot of. I can say it because I'm not white. At least that was what he did when he was at Temple, or at. Well, I can say it now. I graduated at Temple.
I'm not familiar with his comedy in that sense. I was just saying, like, I think he's funnier than he is a good TV host.
That's fair. I can agree with that.
But he is, I think, the biggest offender of the Orange Man bad bit that I was saying earlier. I also
agree with that. Although I have been enjoying the celebrity a president that he does on Facebook. Every time one of Trump's cabinet gets kicked, he marks them off on this bingo sheet.
That is very good.
It's pretty great because he has like, his wife and daughter on there as well. So I'm pretty excited to see how this pans out.
See them get axed.
It'll be a good time, It hasn't happened in a while because, not many people have been kicked recently, but
still, it rolls around.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much late night TV, you guys. I just Googled like what the late, like what's on right now. There's so many.
The night is not nearly late enough to be watching all those shows.
I would agree.
Speaking of late night TV, it is late night right now.
It is
late night recording.
Late night record TV.
Welcome to Off the Air After Dark.
Hey guys, got a really good bit today for the show. I talked it over to the writers' room. I think it's going to go over really well. Donald Trump's Twitter. He said something dumb.
Let's see. What is the most recent thing? No, because you got to show it. You got to show it. Let's see. What was the most recent tweet he put out as of recording? At POTUS.
I don't know.
He said the golden era of American energy is now underway, and it.
Oh, that sounds good.
It would make you feel better if it didn't. I'm just double checking, but it doesn't. It looks like it's just another coal plant. So.
Oh, we made another coal plant.
That's
so
what
you're telling me
like.
that you're telling me this. That sounds like it's the golden era.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's okay.
American energy.
Oh yeah.
That's So in summary, I think we can all agree.
Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take your punchline. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm glad that you picked up on the punchline. Now, of course, my critiquing of them is probably less funny than their actual bits themselves.
It's natural gas. Sorry, not coal.
Tragic in and of itself. Mm-hmm. Oh, fracking. Nice. That's the golden age, all right. Hey, you guys know it's going to bring us into a new era.
You guys are going to bring it into a new era where we do the same thing that we've been doing for, I don't know,
we're just gonna take the planet and the ecology. We're just gonna fuck it up. I'm saying we're gonna do some fucked up shit. You guys like deer?
Too bad.
We're out of them.
All out of deer.
All right. Well,
you guys like reefs? No more of those. We don't need
I
those
feel like
anymore.
our bit making fun of the way they do their bits.
It's become just doing their bits.
Yes, not only is it not even a good critique anymore of
No,
their bits.
it's not.
It's also not even a good bit in and of itself.
It's really not.
It was never a good bit because it turns
I think
out
it started as an okay bit,
Nah,
and it
disagree.
quickly devolved.
that's okay.
After making the initial point, it became too much of a bit.
Just like this presidency, am I right, you guys? There we go. Boom, brought it back home.
Orange Man bad.
Noah, where can they find the podcast?
Noah, where can they find the podcast? Because I did not tell everyone last episode where they can find the podcast.
You got
so.
it right, though. You just didn't say where the different things link to. So it's twitter.com/theofftheair, facebook.com/OTA podcast, patreon.com/offtheair, youtube.com. Just search Off the Air podcast. And then if you really want to get in there, search Dan is a Snitch. That's the one that always pops up first for me. And I don't know why.
You know why.
Because Dan's a snitch.
Because I am, in fact, a snitch and proud of it.
That's a terrible thing to say.
I mean, listen, you didn't want to get snitched on, don't commit crimes. Which, I gotta say, real quick, I know we're trying to end the episode, real quick.
Yeah, stop and frisk should not be a problem if you don't have anything to hide, guys.
That's not what I'm saying. I am, but at the same time, if you keep coming into the store that I work at and stealing shit and then getting mad when I tell you to stop stealing shit, if you didn't want me to tell you stop stealing shit, stop stealing shit. If you didn't want me to call the cops every time you walked out the store with some of our shit, don't walk out the store with shit that you didn't pay for.
I think that's distinctly a different thing.
No, that is, don't do the crime.
No, so it's not. So you're telling me that you are saying stop and frisk shouldn't be a problem. You have nothing to hide.
No, you're right. You're right. I am,
Checkmate,
I am
atheist.
saying that.
You can find me at twitter.com/Jacksonium with 2 M's, or alternatively at tumblr.com, same URL with the ats and whatnot. Instagram.com, same name, Jacksonium, 2 M's. I don't really post too much on Instagram, but I posted some sick, nasty rocks I found on the beach the other day. And that's I think everything I'm really on. Dan, where can they find you at?
You can find me at twitch.tv/born2rule and on Twitter at born2rule57.
Or in your local police tip line.
Mm-hmm. Because listen, can't do the crime, don't do the time.
That sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the show, guys. Thanks
That's
for coming
it.
out, and don't forget to show up at Plato's.
What about
No,
me?
where can they find you?
You already talked about the podcast, Noah.
Noah, don't
already
try and
got
act
your
like the
turn.
podcast isn't you.
You had your
The
turn.
podcast is me, but it doesn't talk nearly as often as I do. I'm trying to get better about
That's
that.
Right.
But
What do you have to say about
It also
pantsuits?
doesn't have nearly as many strong opinions as you do.
Did you ever
which
tweet
is
out
saying a
Bobby
lot.
Schmurda she wrote?
no, I never did tweet out Bobby Schmurda. She wrote.
I did it. Twitter.com/Jacksonium with 2 M's.
It was really good.
Noah, where can we find
You
you?
can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at Bubbadabad, BUBBADABAD.
And you can find all three of us at Plato's Allegory of the Rave.
No, I would never go to a rave. How dare you?
Are you sure?
That's not true. I would 100%, but I would feel super weird about it. I would need to be
Plato's
very drunk.
Allegory of the Rave, episode 8, whatever Star Wars episode 8 is called. I don't fucking know. What if I called it that? Would you show up?
Probably.
See, I knew it.
I've just established I probably would show up. I just,
All right,
weird
that's
about
the
it.
episode. That's it.